Good afternoon. I'm here with some supposedly funny stories, sayings, whatever for you guys today. Hopefully they're funnier than yesterday. I made bookmarks out of an Easter card that my aunt gave me yesterday. I like making my own bookmarks. Okay. This chapter is chapter 1, and it's called The Lord's Laughter. The one whose throne is in heaven sits laughing. After the church service, a pastor told a woman, "I noticed your husband walked out in the middle of my sermon. I hope I didn't say something that offended him." "Not at all," replied the wife. "My husband has been walking in his sleep for years." A preacher's car broke down on a country road far away from everything but a small tavern. When he walked inside to use the phone, he saw his old friend Hank, shabbily dressed and drunk, sitting at the bar. "Hank, what happened?" the preacher asked. "You used to be a prosperous man." Hank told him about all the problems he had and bad investments he had made, and asked the pastor's advice. "Go home," the preacher said, "and when you get there, open your Bible and put your finger down on the page. God will give you the answer." A year later the preacher saw Hank, wearing an expensive new suit and getting into a new Mercedes. "I'm glad to see that things turned around for you," the preacher said. "They sure have, and I owe it all to you, Pastor," Hank said. "I went home like you said, opened my Bible, put my finger down on the page, and there was the answer, chapter 11. Maybe that makes sense to some of you. Not to me. I don't know. I'm a little slow. After the birth of their child, a priest wearing his clergy collar visited his wife in the hospital. He greeted her with a hug and a kiss, and gave her another hug and a kiss when he left. Later the wife's roommate commented, "Gee, your pastor sure is friendlier than mine." Let's see what's in the other section that Again, I made another bookmark out of the same card. Let's try this. Chapter 23, Laugh and Live Long. Hardening of the heart makes you grow old faster than hardening of the arteries. When people praise you for leadership qualities, it means you are starting to resemble George Washington. Don't know. Time may be an excellent healer, but as a beautician, it's not so hot. Retirement is the time when you never do all those things you said you wanted to do if you only had the time. A lot of people would probably agree with that. When you look depressed, people remind you to keep your chins up. Old age is the time when you complain that your grown-up children don't visit enough, but when they do visit, you can't wait for them to leave. When you're over the hill, you tend to repeat yourself. When you're over the hill, you tend to repeat yourself. How old is old? An elephant outlives a monkey. A turtle lives longer than a man. A housefly will last but a summer. A tree has a long lifespan. A camel has humps when a baby. A deer slows down when 15. 8 years is lifespans for a squirrel. One older is seldom seen. You are young, my friend, not old but young, if you find deep in your heart beautiful thoughts of deeds to be done, or some kind words to impart. That was nice. You can't help getting older, but you don't have to get old. I try to take one day at a time, but sometimes several days attack me at once. The 7 ages of man are spills, drills, thrills, bills, ills, pills, and wills. Isn't that the truth? It is the test of a good religion whether you can joke about it. Immediately our religion becomes real. It is possible to have humor in connection with it. No one would have been invited to dinner as often as Jesus was unless he was interesting and had a sense of humor. Imagination was given to man to compensate him for what he is not, a sense of humor to console him for what he is. Humor is another of the soul's weapons in the fight for self-preservation. If a fellow doesn't have a good time once in a while and get a good laugh out of the serious side of life, he doesn't have life. Laughter is the purest form of our responses to God. Whether or not the great saints were capable of levitation, I have no evidence. I do know that the saints had the power of levity. Laughter is the purest form of our response of God's acceptance for us. For when I laugh at myself, I accept myself. The head thinks, the hands labor, but it's the heart that laughs. There is no surer path to damnation than taking oneself too seriously. Deadly is a good adjective to use with serious. I've never heard the phrase deadly humorous. A laugh is worth 1,000 groans in any market. Humor is a proof of faith. Beware of him who hates the laughter of a child. One laugh of a child will make the holiest day more sacred still. Much of what we're about as people of faith is discovering the joy of our relationships to God and each other, and I think humor is an important dimension of who we are as human beings. Read a couple more, then we'll stop. In my synagogue, somber is for the dead. My philosophy is that religion ought to be something enjoyable. Jesus had to be able to laugh. When you look at the comics of today, you find most of the greats are Jewish. Jesus dealt with the Jewish people, and they wouldn't have listened to him if he didn't show humor. Okay, we're going to stop with those today. Again, I didn't think they was that funny, but maybe some of you guys got a laugh or a smile, hopefully. I guess I'll go back to a website and try to find something next time, because the book's kind of getting boring. Can't find much good in it, really. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and I will see you tomorrow, God willing. Let's bring those souls to Jesus. I love you guys. God bless. Bye.